this game. I found it like I think a little bit before I joined Timeless Gamers, and then I'd been bugging Sir Joel to do a fishing episode for a while, and then finally when I got to play it, I realized that it wasn't just a fishing game. This was a fishing horror game.
That's surprisingly getting to be a popular subgenre of fishing, actually. And there's another one I completely forgot where, Dredge is falling into that category. Dredge is a video game where you go out fishing and you start collecting fish, but eldritch horrors start happening. Anyway, continue on, Jose.
So I chose this game because I was intrigued by it because it looks like a Game Boy game. It even has a Super Game Boy type border around it. So the game is very short. It takes place over the course of 3 days, a weekend. And in the game, you actually have to dig for your own worms before you go fishing. So you'll like go around with your little shovel and hit the ground, and the worms will come up. This is Fishing Vacation on Steam.
Fishing Vacation. There you go.
And as the prologue is basically the tutorial. It shows you how to fish, and basically the mechanics of fishing are you can throw the line anywhere you want. Like you can cast in wherever in the lake you want, but there are also places where there's little shadows where it shows that there's a fish, and you can throw it there. And once the fish, you do get a bite, you reel it in by actually spinning the analog or the D-pad if you want, and then the fish will fight back, and then you have to alternate hitting the A and B buttons to get it back to be coming with you. Let me see what else is there.
I like that. I like that it simulates original Game Boy.
Yeah. So as the days progress, stuff does start to happen. You start to notice things. And like you're at a cabin that your friend's uncle lives at, but he's nowhere to be seen. But there is signs that something happened in the cabin. At some point, you will start getting weird things happening in the background, or see things on your way back to the cabin. There's even a point where you go night fishing, and you go to catch your fish, and I mean you go to dig for worms, and the game is like, oh, you hit something, and then it starts to dig out this shape, and it's the shape of skeletal remains, and you're just like, oh, it must be an animal or something, so let's just go fishing. But there is stuff that happens. There's things that watch you from the water. Sometimes there's like a hand that comes up and grabs your lure or anything like that, and then the game does have 5 endings, and I was able to see every single one. And it just depends on what you actually do throughout the days. There's certain things, like if you choose to not go night fishing with your friend, that's an ending right there. There's a couple endings, like, and the game is actually legit scary. Like it scared me a few times with what happened. Yeah, and I wasn't expecting it because of the aesthetic of the game. It's just it looks like a Game Boy game, so you're like, okay, what's so scary about this? And if it shows it right here, no, there's a spot where there's something in the trees, and it like goes away.
Let me ask you, Jose, in terms of horror, is it jump scares or is it dread? Because there's two kinds of horror. There's jump scares where it jumps out at you and scares you out of your skin, but there's also dread where you know something is around the corner, but you can't.
It actually kind of does both.
Both, really?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, nice.
And I don't want to give too much away, but like it's really not even like, I think it's like $5 on Steam, and there's also a Switch version. But there's like plenty of things that you can see, like that's obviously a blood stain on the rug right there. And even your friend starts to like notice that things aren't going very well in this cabin, and there's also a book that tells you a story which seems to be linked to what is happening at this cabin. Let me see, let me pull up my catches, because it's not really a big focus on the catches, but it does have some funny things.
I'm looking at the sprites, and they look cute, but for some reason they have this creepy smile in their faces.
Yeah. That's part of it too.
I have to say, I just did a very quick search, Jose, and fishing horror games are becoming a subgenre in fishing games. Some examples are Gone Fishing.
Gone fishing.
Yes, Gone Fishing. There's Earl's Day Off. There's Fishing Vacation, like you mentioned, and one of them, Mysteries Under Lake Ophelia. That's the one that I was trying to remember. Mysteries Under Lake Ophelia. Those are mostly offered on itch.io, but some of them actually do make the transition to the Nintendo Switch. And fishing horror games, surprisingly, are getting pretty popular. You chose a good one.
Yeah.
Overall, what do you like about this game, Jose, in particular?
What I like is I like the look of it. I really, that's what brought me to the game first, was just the look of it being a Game Boy fishing game. And then when I read that it was horror, that like completely sold it. I was like, I got to play this. It's very simple too, and it's got replayability because of all the endings. And also like just trying to see like what can you actually catch in this lake. Because
that reminds me. Yes. What type of fish do you normally catch in this?
Well, I'm trying to share the screen if you will allow me, Sir Joe. That way I can show you some of the things you can catch.
All right. Jose is going to be showing us his favorite catches on Fishing Vacation.
So this is like one of the first things I caught was this catfish.
Oh, okay, catfish. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, 12 inches. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
And then there's
Starfish
starfish here.
Okay.
There's lobsters in this lake.
Lobster. Very cool. Nice. Okay.
There's jellyfish
A
apparently.
15-inch jellyfish. Okay.
And then we got a swordfish.
What? How can you catch a swordfish there?
I don't know. This lake.
Okay.
It must be part of the weird paranormal stuff.
Fine.
happening
Okay.
there.
A 5-inch swordfish. Okay.
Yeah, and then here we go.
An
Octopus.
Okay, I can allow. Okay, fine, an octopus.
And then a sunfish.
A sunfish. How the heck are you?
I think that's a deep water.
Yeah, that's a
fish.
deep water fish already.
That's a creek.
And then
That's
right here-
basically Dawson's Creek right there.
Great white.
How the hell are you able to
Hilarious.
catch a sunfish and a shark
I know, a great
and an
white
octopus
over.
for crying out loud?
Oh my goodness.
150 inches? Dude,
220 inches. What's 220
mean-
inches in feet?
the water alone is hardly 150 inches.
I know. Oh my
220 inches for the great shark.
And then the last one, which completely caught me off guard,
Uh-huh.
is an Easter egg that you actually have to do certain things, and every time that you go fishing to make come up. And it's a little cameo from a character from Super Mario World, Super Mario Brothers 2, the USA version.
What the heck is that? A
Wart
wart?
from Super Mario Brothers 2.
Okay. I got it. Okay.
Oh.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Now I have to get this game. Catching a great white shark in a tiny little lake. Definitely. I'm getting it. Oh man. Okay. So overall,
Who made this game?
I forget, but I do know that it was part of a fishing horror jam in 2020.
On
Right.
itch.io,
I mean,
think, right?
Yeah.
I mean, definitely it's not Nintendo. Otherwise, I
No,
mean,
no.
having Heart over there would have cost would have cost a lawsuit up the aisles.
You'd be surprised at the games that they come out with on itch.io. There's a ton of great games there that actually do make the port over to different systems as well. The Switch, the PS5. Good choice, Jose. What would you give it? 1 to 10.
Oh, I would give
How many
it,
tentacles?
I would give it 8 tentacles.
8 tentacles out of 10.
8 tentacles out of 10.
Yeah, but is it horror? It's not Cthulhu-esque, is it? Eldritch horror type of horror. It's just generalized horror, right?
It leans toward mythological type horror.
Mythological type. Okay, understood.